Right, guys, welcome back to the Help I'm Dating a Bodybuilder podcast. This is the first special guest episode, and on this episode we have Pete and Millie. So guys, do you want to introduce yourself? Start with you, Pete.
So, Pete Royle, online bodybuilding, lifestyle and prep coach, podcast guest, Connie Sports athlete, running out of things, got a couple degrees. That's about it. Partner of Millie. There you go.
I've got less titles than that.
This is just Millie.
This is just Millie.
Like
That was my intro.
Yeah.
I'm just Meg.
Well, I'm just Megan. I live with Tim in Tim's house.
Literally, just Millie. Bikini athlete, online coach, lifestyle, and that's about it really. Got 1 degree. You got a couple. So just throw that in there.
It's not a competition, it's okay.
Yeah. It's all right. But we wanted you on, Millie.
Yeah.
Pete just tagged along.
He just
So don't put yourself down.
She needed a chauffeur. She was like, drive me up. I was like, yeah, okay.
tag along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class. So this is the first special guest up, and we thought we'd get these two on because obviously we are pals, we are mates, as well as
Belly friends.
We wanted Millie on.
Yeah.
We said this, right?
It's actually a trio.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
It's a triangle here.
I was brought into the group. I felt left out. I had no friends. I was like, Millie, please let me be friends with your friends.
It's alright, babe. It's alright.
So what are we starting off with?
So I thought we'd start with a general bodybuilding type introduction. So I know that Millie did a prep last year.
Yes.
Pete started a prep last year.
Tried.
And yeah.
Tried to that.
Halfway. We got halfway.
About that.
Didn't complete it, but that, you know,
No. The end bit isn't actually important.
No.
The first bit is
Just
the
do it.
hardest.
It's
Yeah.
the taking
Yeah.
part that matters. So.
Exactly.
Part-timer.
Yeah. So the first question for you guys is how did you cope with that? Like being in a relationship where you were both in a prep, and were there any difficulties managing?
Yeah, I think I started prep before you did. And
2 months, I think.
yeah, and we were relatively
No.
new as a couple by that point. Like, we'd known each other for ages, but I'd only been dating for probably the best part of like 4 months or so by then, really.
Yeah.
So I started prep about 8 weeks before you.
When was this? About a year ago?
Yeah.
So March, I started prep a year ago in 2 days.
Yeah.
Solid.
Anniversary.
Yeah.
But we were long distance anyways, so we were
Yeah.
about 6 hours apart, as well as being new.
Yeah.
We literally threw everything into that, and then it was starting prep.
How long was you 6 hours apart for?
Until she moved up to...
Until I moved up.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I was at uni in
So what,
Leeds.
September?
Millie was in Plymouth at uni, and then after you finished uni, you went to your parents in Devon, and I was obviously still in Manchester.
Yeah.
So until she moved up here in September.
we'd see each other. Longest we left it was about 3 weeks, but it would be like
You'd come up for a week or I go down for a week,
Yeah.
and it'd be a
And
couple
then-
of weeks apart. But then there was also, like, over the summer when the season's going on, there's so many people shows you go to anyway, so
Yeah.
we'd have, like, we'd both be going to the same show for different people and whatever.
we'd
so
tie
we'd,
it in.
see each other and stuff like that. But no, I think the only, like, we laugh about it, like, we've never had an argument as a couple, like, we've never really fallen out over anything, or, like, obviously, like, we bicker for, like, banter, but the only argument we ever had was me on prep, and that's because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I think it's from playing, like, sport competitively in the past. As soon as I'm very focused on something, sort of everything else, like, fucks off.
Yeah.
So Millie would be like, how's your day? I'd be like, yeah, sound. And then I'd just be like, in my head, I'd have like a tick list of shit to do. And I didn't really ask you, like, how your day was. And
yeah.
you just called me out on it
Tunnel
one day.
It went
Yeah.
from like, I think it was because it went from like the honeymoon stage
Yeah.
in the
Like, because,
relationship.
like, we're still like that now.
Still
No,
in?
we still like that,
Yeah.
but like it was like from that to prep started, and he was just bang like
All that matters is
like
prep.
yeah,
Not all-
literally it was
Tunnel
no,
vision on
It
just
was
He
tunnel
just
vision because it was like in my
fixated.
head I was like, I'm up at this time, I need to do this by this time because I've got check-ins there.
Yeah.
I was still doing my masters.
But
So I was
it-
like, right,
yeah.
this is time for my masters. And then I'd made the decision by that point that I don't want to go into the NHS and do anything. I wanted to coach.
What was your masters in?
So physiology. My master's was in physiology.
Exercise physiology.
I was going into I'd gone down like the STP route to go into the NHS as a cardiac physiologist. Worked for private like healthcare companies reading ECGs all over summer. Although I was like really interested in it, I was like at a point where I was like, I'm making the same, if not more money than what I would go into the NHS anyway. And I
Enjoy
love
coaching.
doing what I'm doing. Like I love coaching people. Like was like, this is sick. I don't actually want to go in, because I found it really hard working almost like in that corporate environment and coaching at the same time, because you know when like clients are messaging you, I'm like, fuck, I can't really go on my phone here because I've got this ECG coming through, I need to do that. So I was like trying to build a business. Obviously, just in my head there was like a tick list of shit to do every day, and we don't really text each other anyway. Like we prefer to like have conversations and just like, you know, just like shit texts all day that
Yeah,
people
I
like
hate
it
texting.
got
Yeah.
to the point where, because he was like, I think when you came to me and you were like, I can't be texting you all day. I was like, I'm not asking you to, because that was the conversation. Because I was like, are you even interested? Like, what's going on?
But I was like,
But it was
brutal
because
about
it was-
to be fair. I was bad in that conversation.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, we won't even go into that.
No, because I
that
said
was
like I can
literally
understand like this
I
is
can
just what
understand
I'm
that, I'll see you
like
later.
in a competitive environment where I've got tunnel vision, and if you can't like
Yeah.
cope with that, essentially, I don't blame you if you want to go.
But I was like,
in a
you can literally
roundabout
say,
way.
have a good day, speak to you later, and we'll come back in the evening.
I know I'm
He
a
was like,
twat.
Yeah, no, pretty
He
much
was
like,
like, I
I'm really
can't-
sorry.
It's a free pass to get
But I
out.
also
Yeah.
didn't want to lie and be like, oh, don't worry, I'll
'Cause it's-
like it'll be completely different from, you know, tomorrow morning. I'll be really invested in you because I know myself well enough that wasn't
Yeah.
being a twat maliciously, intentionally.
No.
I was just like, my head's in what I'm doing.
Pretty savage mindset.
In all
like
I-
24 weeks out of that.
Yeah, all like that's what I was
I'm
like.
pretty good about it,
Excuse me, but he hadn't prepped yet, and I was like, I'm in for a prep, and I
It's
get
day
it.
one. Like, what's going on?
Day one, it's like, shut the fuck up.
It was the first week.
You are bothering
We hadn't
me.
even left March. we were like weekend.
1 hour in.
He was like, yeah, I can completely understand, like, you know. And I was like, I'm not asking for anything. I was like, I don't need to be texting me all the day or like being like X, Y, and Z. But when we were in a group chat at the time, what ticked me off is we both had an exam on the same day. And I'd been like, good luck on your exam. He didn't message me. Got to midday and he messaged the group chat that I was in. And I was like, yeah, my exam went well. Thanks so much for asking. And I was like, we need a chat.
I know you're joking about like being 24 weeks out, but every sport I've played has been like highly competitive, and as soon as it's
Yeah,
like
I get it,
pre-season or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
I'm like,
But-
it's just even like with business, so like when it's the competitive season,
Yeah.
you'll text me at like 2 in the afternoon, like how's check-ins and stuff gone, because I've just completely forgot to like message you in the morning when I've got lunch.
I'll
So
just
I'm
check
No,
like,
I get that. It's like show day.
yeah,
I won't be texting that much, and I'll be blunt, and then it's like,
But you get it.
But you're just stressed, and I'd rather
Yeah.
actually not speak to you. And you're like,
well, we've come to that agreement. We've
I'm like,
come to
leave
that
me
now
alone.
because it got to the point where you thought there was an issue.
Literally.
yeah, like
When it's not, there isn't an issue. It's just my head's not in it to text.
We had that on
when you're
show a few
texting someone on
times.
WhatsApp, we sit on WhatsApp and text
All day.
all fucking day.
Yeah.
To then text a friend or text your girlfriend or whatever, like you just want to detach.
it's so monotonous as well, because like you show like a lot of interest. You're like, how are your check-ins? And I'm just like, they sound every day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some are shit, some are fantastic, some are
Yeah.
okay. But like I don't
Yeah.
want to then go into detail about every single person's checking, because after you've done so many, your head's gone anyway.
No, it's
Yeah,
more
no,
so
I
just
get that.
checking that you're all good. I don't
Yeah.
need details of everyone. It's just making
Right.
sure. But I also get like,
What have you done
yeah.
with their food?
What have you changed
Yeah.
their step to? What's their drug load?
What's he
like?
running?
Yeah, literally. So it would just be like, it would just be checking in on that. Whereas I know, like this week, especially leading up to the show, like we'll have last weekend and have that like relationship time, and I'll know this week he'll be stressed leading up to that as getting everyone ready before the week. So I'm not going to be like, give me attention.
Yeah.
I suppose
We
that was
also, like-
that was the only problem we had in prep though, because after we had that conversation, I was like, right, don't really want to put her through that again and be a dick.
Yeah.
Quite like my relationship, kind of want to keep it.
I think it's sometimes you don't realise you're doing it.
You
No, I
And then
didn't.
you have that conversation.
When
You
you
didn't.
when you brought it up, I was like, fuck, been here before, and I was like,
You
I
said
just
that
didn't
as well. You were
realise.
like, you've had this before where
Yeah.
people didn't understand,
Yeah.
and was like, I can see why.
But then after that,
Like, I get
obviously,
it.
there was like conscious effort to not be a dick.
Yeah.
It's also reassurance that you weren't just pieing me off.
yeah.
Just being like, I'm not interested. I was just like, what? Why are you not talking to me? And then he was like, no, I didn't even realise I was doing it. Like I do, like, you know. And then it's like, who are you talking to?
And then relatively shortly after that,
Well, who's
I
he
fucked the
talking
prep.
Yeah, I was
I was
like, who are you talking to?
Who's the other
Karma.
Innit?
yeah, no, that was the only difficulty between you and I on like the whole prep. That's really the only like, argument we've ever had either. It wasn't even really an argument. It was just you being like, you're being a twat, and I was like, yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, it was not. It was like a sit down like this over FaceTime.
Yeah.
We were 6 hours apart.
Um,
Yeah.
Like next time you prep, do you think
Yeah,
you'll
very
handle things
different.
very differently
I think it'll be
in that
quite-
respect.
Also, it's like I'm not.
I think it'd be quite monotonous on prep.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be as stressed either about, because in my head as well, I was like, obviously trying to really build the business up then, because I was aware that my show was the end of September, my dissertation submission was the start of September. If I don't have a business that is livable off by then, I'm going to need to go into employment. So in my head I was like, I've got these deadlines where I need to make it work, or at least be promising by a certain point.
Okay.
Whereas like now, it's doing
Yeah.
well, I know it's continuously improving, I'm not like shit in the bed about it, and by the time I prep again, hopefully the business will be, you know, I'll be working with even more athletes, and I'm never going to worry about like that aspect.
Yeah.
That won't be like a big part of it, as well as obviously trying to do the masters at the same time.
It's because you're using it as like a business tool as well. You're
Yeah.
putting so much pressure on that, like, prep's got to go well. I've got to get this content out. I've got to
Yeah.
look like this. I've got to be documenting so that more
And
people
also
join.
from I think I'll probably feel the same when I inevitably do prep again. I was like, I've got to be like fucking nails, because I'm prepping
standard.
people as well.
Yeah.
So I can't be like behind or do a shit job, because then my athlete's going to look at me and be like, there's a lack of trust there. And then also, you know what I mean? Like when you
Same as like getting one person nails, you then got to get everyone else nails, because it's like, that's a fluke.
you set the
or
standard,
whatever,
and then when I feel like when I was doing it, it's like anything I'm asking my guys to do, I need to go to an extreme of,
Yeah.
and really like, you know, fucking set the bar.
You even said the only thing that you can control is how conditioned you come in.
Yeah, I was
so
like, I
it's
don't
just
care.
what it
Like,
is,
yeah.
you know what
I was
mean?
like, I don't care if I come like fourth. I do not
So
want to
it's
be
like, I
a
wanna be
fucking
the most
gram of body fat on
yeah.
me. If I walk off and they go, you could have been more conditioned, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's
It
like
is,
my
yeah.
You were
worst
like, I
Can
won't be the
do,
biggest on
yeah.
stage, but I'll be the most, like, no one will take condition.
But then the standard
away.
I'd set in my own head was like just ridiculous. And then when I actually watched that show, because we were there for
Yeah.
it, I was like,
You're like,
So what show was you meant to do?
first time is September.
First time
Last
was,
year.
to do
was
it.
that Josh's show?
Josh's
Yeah.
show. So
Right.
Josh, that's when Josh and I got quite close on that prep.
Yeah.
And then we were coming back from Millie's that day, and we went to the show because Summer was in it, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were calling in, watch Summer, watch Josh. And then I obviously saw the standard like on the stage, and I was like, oh,
Cleaned
I
up. Think
I could have done quite well in that. Nah, not cleaned up.
oh, cleaned up.
No, driving home going, what you fucking had there? No. But when I got there, I realised, like, because do you remember when...
Put a story saying robbed.
Just Josh at that wrong.
Do you remember when, like, Jack Eagles and Reece prepped a few years ago?
When they were juniors?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
massive. In my head, I was like, that's...
Mate, I was the same before when we just started seeing each other the first time. I was going to prep as my final year as a junior and do it, finish up as a junior. And in my head all year, I had that shape that they both
Yeah,
had,
that
which
was-
is not men's physique anyway, but it completely kind of blurred my vision.
I think they were
of-
both men's physique-ish at the time. Definitely both.
Well, yeah, Jack obviously
Yeah.
won Jack. Yeah, Reece still was fucking massive.
Yeah,
in board
just a
shorts.
large human being generally.
But I had that was the standard, and whatever junior show you turn up to, that's what everyone's going to fucking be.
So that's what all I was thinking about. So,
Yeah.
you know, we pushed so aggressively in the off season leading into it, and then in the prep, I remember going into the prep and just thinking like, my condition needs to be beyond perfect, and then I can't really, you know, control who's going, you know, how big the other lads are going to be, but there was like loads of pressure on my head for that as well. So I think that's what inevitably caused sort of that mindset shift the day prep began, and then I think it lasted about 6 weeks before you were like, you've been a fucking twat.
You have that because you don't want to miss a beat, because
Yeah.
if you lose on show day or you have a gram of fat and you think, I've missed that beat, that could have got me
Yeah.
peeled, could have got me leaner.
You sort of like build momentum up as you go with
Yeah.
it, and you become ridiculously obsessive about things. And like you look back on them, and like I wasn't even obviously like anywhere near completing the prep. Obviously, I fucked it like halfway. But I just remember things I'd be thinking about like 20 weeks out, and I'm like, why am I stressing about shit like that now?
Yeah. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, you didn't fuck it and just pull.
Oh yeah, no.
Pull
You
prep.
binge.
Prep didn't get hard, you binged
Yeah.
20 weeks out.
Yeah.
No, I
You
snapped my humerus, so
Ran on the stairs.
kind of couldn't train.
couldn't be asked for
Jump down.
prep, so the
Right.
excuse was...
No, I just saw Josh Jenkins and thought he's going to do me.
Yeah.
Josh and I joke about that all the time, but no, I just snapped my humerus, and then that was the end of
That was
prep. And
it.
then
Yeah.
as soon as that ended anyway, I wasn't bothered about the prep. I was just like, fuck, I can't train.
Yeah.
And then that was easy. Everything was easy by that point because I'd already sort of had the mindset shift of I'm being a dick to Millie. Need to sort that out. Bam, got snapped, and then I had clients competing straight away. So I was like, right, wicked. All focus was on them, and then you. And that was sound. Like, the rest of it was a breeze, really, between you and I, at least.
Yeah.
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 So how, like, in your prep, obviously, like, Pete was, like, just dialed in from the get-go. So, like, how did you handle the, like, balancing? Because obviously Pete had then been pulled, broke his arm, like...
Yeah, what in terms of, like...
Like, kind of making...
When after he broke his arm, I didn't really...
Do you want to go into the story of what you thought happened?
So it was either two things, right? So
What, with his arm?
yeah. So the day he broke his arm, he
This
didn't
is
say
how
a
much
word.
trust she had, by the way, so for everyone listening, this is... Do you know what I mean? She complains about me being a dick, but...
No, it was nothing to do with trust. It was nothing to do with that. It just... people had mentioned it, and I was like, oh, that could be a possibility. But it was... What happened?
You just thought I was cheating on you?
No, don't jump to
I heard the
jump
rumours
to
as
this.
well.
Let me build...
You heard the truth as well.
Let me... Hold on.
I was spreading it.
No, so on the day... he was the one telling me.
Tim was like, shady
I was looking
guy.
out for you.
Shady
yeah,
guy.
I was looking
yeah,
out for you.
this trio was looking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
No, he was supposed to be training with Jack that day and Naomi, and he'd been like really, like he'd just been MIA, and I was like, "You all right?" He's just in and out.
I was at EP
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Jack.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Christian. It was the day after Harry's
Yeah.
Euclid World Finals.
Mid-June.
And I was at EP, and Jack was like, "Pete's meant to be. Where is it?" Yeah.
I rang him and told
Yeah.
him. He knew what happened.
I was at work. And
Maybe
I was
he
thinking
didn't.
something's not right. I remember it got to like 2 p.m. I was like, no. And I just remember just being like, something's not right. And then I looked on the stories. Jack had trained on his own. You had been there. There was no sign of him. You would have put it up on stories. I was like, the only reason for Pete to miss a session with Jack or to meet Jack would be
Mr.
if he was...
Chesney in general, I'm committed, bro.
Okay.
Look at him now.
I was like, he's in hospital. And then the people who were around me at the time were like, that, or he might be, you know, seeing somebody else. And I was like, oh. I then rang my mum.
You just threw it out there.
Yeah, just threw it out there.
I'm here thinking,
What
like,
the hell?
I didn't have the capacity
Yeah.
to speak to her, whom having the capacity to speak to her.
I was like, maybe.
Maybe he's shagging you.
No, I don't.
Maybe
But I like, not that I was bad for me to contemplate, but I just thought,
No, it's funny.
Yeah, you
Really?
get doubt thrown in. I do
I was
get
like,
that.
Yeah, like people around you were saying, like, oh, I bet he's doing that. You'd be like, what's wrong
so
with you?
I rang my mum and I was like, Mum, something's not right. I was like, Pete hasn't messaged me all day. I was like, and I rang him and he's not picked up. And then you did, but you were he was in between. And I was like, I think something's wrong. Like, I feel like he's in the hospital. Something's happened. He wouldn't miss it. You rang hours later in a cast being like, it was like 6 p.m. at this point. So I'm going out my mind being like, what's he ringing me for? He was
6
like, I'll
hours.
speak to you later. Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I'm in a cast. I was like, whoopsies. And he was like, prep's done, but this is what the plan is. And you just went bang, bang, bang. And then I was like, I'm coming up.
Well, that's why I
You're
didn't
no.
speak to you, because you would have got in
Yeah.
a car and you had like prep brain anyway. Driving 6
It was
hours.
July. I was not that bad by this point. And,
Still, and I was
and
like,
I
there's
started
nothing
in
you
May.
can do about it. So I just
Yeah.
said to Mum, I was like, don't bother telling Millie because she'll stress and drive up here and what's she going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you
but-
were like, he's shagging someone else.
Whole affair. Whole
To be
affair
fair,
going on.
PTSD.
On a story, he's
you
calling
would
me
jump
out.
That's
that.
what, yeah.
It
And I was
is
trying
like
not to.
past.
I knew it was me thinking that, and I was like, nah, I'm thinking worst case scenario here. But no, from then, like after that point, I did kind of separate until I moved in September. I separated prep and updates from prep and how I was getting on with what you were doing. Not because you'd be negative about it, but it was almost like I didn't want to be like, yeah, this is happening, because it'd be, let's just focus on your arm.
I was sound by it. I think you were just overthinking things in your own head.
Yeah,
or something
I'm just more sensitive to it.
Yeah, and you put that on me when I was just pretty chilled.
Alright.
I'm sad.
Sorry for
I'm-
respecting your feelings that you don't have.
I'm shallow. I had no estrogen.
But yeah, no, moved in September,
Yeah.
and then I think the only thing is I didn't let you in for a while, because I was like, I'm sound, I'm doing well, it's fine, it's
Well,
going
in terms
fine.
of prep.
Yeah, and then you were like, you're not fine, and that's okay.
Yeah,
You were quite-
you were
that's-
trying to do a lot of things yourself
I moved.
when you should have probably asked for a bit of help.
Yeah,
And you were like, obviously your prep wasn't going
to plan.
how you wanted it to go, and you had like a lot of conflicting opinions because we didn't, like, I never spoke to you about anything that was...
Would you pretend it was okay? Like you were.
Or you
fine?
weren't really like
I wasn't
acknowledging
I
the
wasn't
fact.
acknowledging
Yeah.
it. Like you get, you kind of take on. You don't realise how like in a hole you are or how shit you're doing until you like rest or you just kind of take a step back, or what other people are saying. Like when you're feeling it yourself and you're like, something's not right, so then you're going out to other people being like, right, what's going on here, do you think this and this, and they're all giving you different opinions, you don't know what to do. In the end it was just like, I need your help, like what do you think's the issue here?
The truth as
well.
well.
Like I need the truth from you, like regardless of what, like do you think I'll make it to stage because of the position I was in?
And all you think as well is, I'll just do more.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to do.
More. I can get this off. I'll just do it.
And I wasn't saying to anybody. Like I was just like, I don't have time to stop. I need to keep going. I need to do my cardio. I need to get them.
It wasn't even stuff like that though. Just simple things every day, like making your own meals or just going for steps. You were very like trying to be independent about a lot of things.
Yeah.
It was like, just fucking sit down for 10 minutes and I'll go and do that for you. Or like,
I'd be like, no, it's okay, I got it.
You'd be like, I'm going to do it.
Come to steps. No, it's fine. I got it.
Yeah, and
you don't have to do that.
Or even like you were like, oh, I'm going to drive to this place or whatever, and I was like, oh, drive us or stuff like that.
Yeah.
You were just like trying to be very independent. You probably just needed someone like to lean on, someone, let someone do a couple of things for you.
Yeah.
But then with like the actual physique side of things, I had girls on prep at the same time, and you were seeing what I was doing with them and how their physique was changing.
How did you find that?
That was the bit that would...
We wouldn't speak about it, so...
Well, we would speak about it because I would speak to the girl who was on, we'd say it's Jen.
Yeah, Jen.
It was Jen, and the main girl, because we did the same shows.
You were close as well,
we would speak every day, and, you know, I see the level of coaching that should be put into your client that I wasn't receiving. So then it's putting into my head that initial doubt of like, oh, right, something's not going right here. I'm not progressing the way I should be. Maybe I'm quite far behind. And then it's like...
Well, we wouldn't really speak about it. If you asked me what I thought, I would then give my opinions. But I'm like... Because there was once I remember saying, like, I was talking about something I'd done with Jen, and you like snapped about it because obviously you were just feeling it that day. And you were like, I don't want to hear it today. Like, I'd given her a refeed, she dropped a load of weight, I was buzzing with it.
I was proper
and then Millie
digging.
was like, not today.
And I laughed, and I was just... And he was like, look at Jen, she looks ridiculous. I was like... And I went, of all the days, just please not today.
Well, that was like,
and he was like
relatively early on, that wasn't at the back end. And
that's when I moved, September.
Yeah, and then from that point I was like... Obviously, I was seeing a lot of things going on that I didn't agree with, but with how stressed you were anyway, I was like, I don't really want to add to that stress. If you asked me what I thought, we had very honest conversations about it.
It's difficult,
unless
you can say.
Yeah, I mean, this is a question that we got asked, and I suppose it's kind of answering it now. Like, I was just like, I'm not going to give my opinions unless you ask for them, because otherwise it just sort of burdens you a bit more and stresses you out a bit more.
More doubt, and then if you're not going to leave, then you've got doubt for the rest of the season.
And also, because I know, like with you two, you obviously coach Meg, and like you oversee everything, whereas you're more like, we like to separate it, so it's more like you look at your girls and you look at your clients objectively, and I wouldn't want him to look at me like a competitor, because I wouldn't want him to lose that's my girlfriend sort of thing, you know. So there was that, so I wouldn't ask in that sense where it'd be like, don't want to ask because I don't want to hear the truth, but it'd be like, no, I don't want him to have to look at me as a client.
Not even, I mean, from my point of view, like, I wouldn't look at you as just a client, and then obviously sort of like when you lose that like romanticness within the relationship, it's just like, I don't want that pressure on me. Yeah. And there's better coaches out there for me.
Yeah, you said
like when you were talking about leaving and you asked if I'd even do it, and I was like, I'd rather fucking pay anyone else to do it. I was like, I gave you a list of people, I was like, if you can't afford them, I'll happily pay for them to coach you. Because I was like, they'll do a better... Because
I would have taken you up on that and not paid.
I was like, they'll do a better job with you than I feel like...
Yeah, you were worried I'd throw it... Not that I would, but you'd be worried that if you were to make a bad decision, a wrong decision or something...
No, I just feel worse about it.
You got way more pressure.
Yeah, and I was like, there's better coaches than me out there. I'd rather pay for you to work with some of them than have all that pressure on myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then you ended up... You were keeping an eye on me though, like the last few days.
Yeah, because it was fucking horrific what was going on.
Messaging Ryan being like, she needs food.
Like,
feed her up.
This ain't the one, G. Half a rice cake doing fuck all.
We're just outing it now, aren't we?
It's interesting that.
Basically.
It's like the opposite.
Oh god, it's like 1.5 bigger than the other.
The rice cake. Spilled flat.
Literally I want.
For
make or break.
Yes.
This is first and second I'm holding in my hand here.
Nah, mate, 56.
How long was your prep?
It was 24 weeks.
24 weeks in the fate of a rice cake. Half a rice cake.
I literally
24 weeks of work.
I remember we sent it to Ryan as well, and
Were you
What, the half?
no, which one?
I think
Which one?
for the context of the listeners, you did the first show, and then
We knew
there was
proper
words
stuff.
exchanged between you and your coach, which you didn't appreciate, and you then left.
Accusations.
There was because you were being told one thing, that thing had happened, and then you were being told, oh, we don't actually want that to happen,
Yeah.
and then it got to the point where you got accused of cheating on your diet, and
Oh,
your
is it?
fault.
It was like you should be dropping. Why are you not dropping?
Gave you more food, pulled your
no,
cardio,
no.
you then dropped.
It was pulled food,
Yeah.
but more cardio. Still went up. And I was like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And then let's rest you. Dropped next day. Oh, it's great. We've had a drop. We don't need to drop anymore. And I'd be like, you've been trying to make me drop, and I finally dropped. And then
But just
I looked
before
at you, I
that, it was a
like, "What's wrong?"
Friday because we were driving. I
Yeah.
remember the conversation in the car when that message came through on your phone.
You were fuming.
Obviously I was pissed off because I'm seeing you every day, and
I think it is difficult because I'm sure you've asked someone though. It's a difficult thing to ask.
Um,
If it's not going the way you think, I have asked clients, look, can you tell me the truth?
I have, but you know,
Has everything been to a T? But I think then when you're on the other side and you're seeing it, it's like,
the difference.
fucking dare you ask that.
The difference is though, like with you would say you're checking daily, and then you'd get asked questions about what you're doing, and it was like, why does that coach not know?
Your situation was
Yeah,
different,
so
yeah.
I was like fuming with that because I was like,
What
You
more?
don't even fucking know.
yeah, you take it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
South coach at this point.
yeah. And then you were like crying almost about it because you were so stressed. And
It wasn't even just like an upset. I would just be sat there and I couldn't. Where I was just emotions were all over the gaff. I'd just be fine 1 minute, and then you'd be like, "Do you need your meal making?" And I'd be like,
Yeah, you go.
"Sorry."
So you got,
I just don't know.
you're like 6 days post show, and then it was like new coach, and then you competed the following Saturday anyway. And then
No,
on
it was new coach.
it was about a week post.
A day before I signed up with.
Yeah, but you
with
spoke
Ryan.
to.
Oh yeah.
You spoke to him and got opinions, and then.
I think it was evident you were just, if
Exposed
you weren't
to
dropping,
coach
it was
proper.
just more.
Yeah.
Do more.
Yeah.
What
Less
your
food, more.
Yeah.
You just needed to pull back at some point.
So what your coach at the time was telling you to do, said new coach was telling you the opposite, and then the feedback off the old coach was, oh, this is perfect, he's going exactly the way I want it to go.
Yeah, that was
And it was
funny.
like you were being starved by your original coach, your new coach was feeding you, and then you were
she'd
getting
like-
feedback in the morning, oh, this is incredible, this is exactly what I wanted
You
to
look
happen.
Exactly what I
You
expected.
look
It
so
was like-
full. This was post half a
It was
rice
like
cake.
yesterday,
You look so
yeah.
full.
Well, that's why on show day, they said the magic protocol of half a rice cake blew you up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Crazy.
That's why.
I
That's
might
why.
put that in with Andy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Pre-stage, just snap a rice cake.
Well, it
Yeah.
blew Millie up. So.
Yeah, so
With some super draw and half rice cake, you should be fucking explode.
Yeah.
Half rice cake top line.
Yeah. Well, I think
just caption. Half a rice cake.
that was probably the only difficulty from like an external difficulty that was put on us was obviously I
Yeah.
was seeing how well Jen was coming in and the changes we were making, and then you were like getting pissed,
Yeah.
and you were then obviously
No,
getting,
it wasn't.
you were getting annoyed with some things, and then you were getting wound up with
It was
how
wound
why
up.
that wasn't
It was-
happening to you.
It was because I was buzzing for Jen, but it was like a
No, you hated
realization
her.
of.
You hated Jen. You're like,
No.
fuck Jen.
Fuck Jen.
When Jen listens to this, she'll be like,
Jen,
Millie, no.
eat.
Refeed.
In it. Don't listen to Pete. No. It was because I was like, I wanted to, like, enjoy it, but it was always taken away because I was fixated on what was going wrong. And it's when something's in your face being like, what's going right? Like, it's like, oh.
I remember even after the first show, we were driving back to your parents, and you were planning on going to Lille. And I was like,
Oh, was you?
I was like, what the
Well-
fuck is the point?
No, because I didn't.
I was like, we're going to
Yeah,
pay.
he's brutal.
Well,
No.
I said
You said
that
it
in
to
the
me
other
already.
podcast. I said, like, if you don't win your class, or
So
at least
I didn't
you
want
know
to do,
you're off.
I didn't want to do the finals of France, and you were like, you might as well. And then that was in the car when we were toying between it, and I was, we both just like, what's the point?
Yeah, I did say I
was like,
fully support whatever decision you make. If you want to go to France, we'll go to France, and you won't hear me moan about it once. However, why the fuck are we going?
Yeah,
You-
I
it's
didn't
not a
want
fucking
that.
holiday,
It's
is
not
it?
one of
I
those
didn't want to
holidays.
go, yeah.
You've not even got an overall. We're just paying a lot of money to go to Lille in December.
Yeah, no.
For what? to say you've done
And then you were
an
like, do you want to
international
do PCA back to back? I went,
Yeah, because you were like, oh, I've got the
maybe not.
bikini, maybe do another show.
Yeah.
Which is an idea we entertained, but...
Yeah, for a bit. But
What's
yeah,
that?
how was that? It was, yeah, I'm hoping next time it will be a bit more smoother and enjoyable. Because,
Yeah, I think you deserve a good prep now.
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be nice.
Because you put the work in.
Yeah, I do what people tell me to do. You know, apart from
Got the
that
wrong
whole-
opinion.
They say
Yeah.
jump, you say how high.
Exactly.
They say half a rice cake, you say what half.
Which half? And that was that.
No, I think in a...
The title of this is going to be I carved up on half a rice cake.
Oh, just
But you're... I
snorted.
think
Tips and tricks to get full as out. Millie Shuttlewood.
How you get
your downfall was, though, like with me, where you were trying to be fine, you'd then be giving inaccurate feedback to your coach at the time.
Yeah. I
It was
pretended I
only
was
when
fine
you like, had a
and I was like-
meltdown and I was like, you need to fucking deload. And you're checking, you're like, feel great, everything's good. You were then like getting more cardio. It was like an hour of fasted cardio in the morning, 20 odd minutes post workout.
Bye.
And you were like, no food, and you were like, oh, I could do more. And I was like, please just tell you fucked, because I'd ask you a question. I was like, 2 business days later, you give me a response. I was like, you're in the bin here. Like,
There was one.
you had a deload,
so
and that was it. You
I
fucking dropped loads.
I was with my housemates and I was at the bottom of the stairs and I'd stood there on my phone. I was in my Udi and I'd just eaten. I'd come back from cardio and I didn't realise in that time they had gone into the kitchen, they'd had food, sat down, gone upstairs, done check-ins, come back down. They were texting each other being like, is she alright? Because I just stood there like this and I thought I'd been there like 5 minutes. They were like, you've been there over an hour. And I was like, what? I was just spaced. I was spaced.
Christ.
Oh my god.
That's
What was
how
the
bad.
lowest and highest food and expenditure you got on prep? I presume you
on
don't
this-
know calories.
on this
'cause it was a
prep-
meal plan.
You were like an hour,
About 800
hour
calories,
fasted.
I'd say.
Was
an
the
hour
lowest?
fasted and 20 minutes post.
And what
this
was that,
time?
just pro fat?
No, it
Pro
wasn't.
fat veg?
I didn't do.
Yeah.
I didn't do post. Oh, I did.
You did an hour fasted and then 25
God,
minutes
yeah, when
post.
she
An hour and
posted.
25 a
She's doing-
day
she doesn't even know what she's
and
doing.
800 calories.
It was like 20,000 steps.
My first
as well.
prep was 2
Savage.
hours a day.
20,000
2 hours a
steps.
day.
Yeah.
That's the thing with girls. I don't think many girls
But I was
realise
in
as well
such a-
that expenditure has to be through the roof because we don't have food to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to.
But
You
I-
can handle more as well.
I did learn so much this time how the starting position. That obviously I was like, oh my god, there's muscle under there.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't. I was just really fat. But that my starting position will be so much better next time because
Yeah.
that was too heavy. It should have been dieted down beforehand. And I was
Yeah,
just
you
like, no, I'm
scrapped
just
the pre-prep diet.
marinating. Like,
That's the number one thing I wanted to do with you is make sure that starting position is perfect
Yeah.
because as a first timer, first prep, pulling off more than 25 pounds is just really not what I
think
want to do.
it's
yeah.
as well, like to obviously we've chatted a lot of shit, but I think like who coached you was very busy. Like she's got some
Yeah.
fantastic results with a lot of athletes.
100%.
Yeah.
I just think it was probably a very busy season for her, and she had pros competing as well.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say,
it was
like,
a little bit
I was
like you were
small
just
fish in a big
yeah,
pond.
you were just
Yeah.
on the bottom of the list where you're now more of a priority with like Ryan essentially. You've got a personal relationship there, and then you're one of his better girls anyway, so you're going to have
Yeah.
someone looking at you a little bit closer.
It's a
My
shame
job.
though to
My
like
job.
pay all that money and feel that way.
Experience. Still love it. But, like, even though like you give all the horror stories and that, like I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, oh, I'm bothering to go again. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
That's so positive, like to come out
Yeah,
of
it
something
is.
that bad and like make it like you love it more, or like excited
Yeah.
to go again or try
Yeah.
again.
It's a fresh start as well.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah.
means you love it.
You've got
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing that you really do love.
Yeah, because it's like I think if somebody done it and they weren't in it for the right reasons or they didn't enjoy it, they'd probably come out and be like, I'm not fucking doing
But
that
you see
again.
people
Put someone
win.
off for
You
life,
see
like,
people win overalls
yeah.
do incredible, and then they're like, "Fuck, doing that again." And they're
Yeah.
they're gone out of
They're
bodybuilding.
done, yeah.
Dropped off the face
They've
of the
done it
earth.
for the wrong
Never
reason
To
or
be seen again on
whatever.
I think
Instagram.
it's just.
Gone.
I think it's yeah.
Where are they?
I'm gone.
No one knows.
I think it's
Missing in
just
Where
action.
did the
Never seen them again.
you scratch the
hardcore.
Bali,
surface.
Australia.
So it's,
They'll come out of show somewhere randomly.
Should have stayed there, to be honest. Oh, anyway, so leading on from that and talking about past preps, what are both of your like goals and aspirations moving forward? So like
But within
bodybuilding and then I guess coaching
And,
Coaching, yeah.
as well for both of you
prep.
now.
Finish your prep.
Finish prep.
No broken bones
No broken
this
bones.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
Would be good.
I've always said I just want to find my ceiling.
yeah.
So if that is a dog shit federation show wicked. If that's pro, wicked. I don't think I have the genetics to go pro.
I think we're similar in that route, to be fair.
But like, I just want to know where I stand.
Yeah.
I want to leave the sport going, yeah, cool.
I've done myself.
Done that.
I've done
If
my
that's
best.
that's that's a fucking class win, or that's an overall at wherever, or a regional win, wicked. If it's a pro, like if I get a pro card, amazing. But I'm not sat here like I'm going to kill myself if I don't get a pro card. Where some people are that have never stepped on stage. I just kind of want to know where I stand and know that I couldn't have been any better. I'll be happy with that.
Go as far as you can.
Yeah, but also I think like my mindset in the past years shifted quite a lot from myself as an athlete and then with coaching, because I think I'm always going to be a far better coach than I will be an athlete. And like you and I were talking about this, I naively a year ago would sit here and be like, I don't fucking get these coaches that can't train. I don't get these coaches that just neglect food. Over the past 2 months I'm like, I get it. I'm like, that's me now.
Sign me.
Yeah.
It just hits you like a ton of bricks.
Because like, sometimes if workload's ridiculous, you'll be like, you'll know I'm training that day. You'll be like, have you trained yet? I'm like, it's 5 p.m.
Yeah.
I've had 2 meals and about 4 monsters.
Like you were like, I'm gonna go and train at 9 a.m. and I was like yesterday, and I was like, no, you haven't trained this week, have you? Apart from yesterday morning.
Yeah, I did a pump session with Andy. And my last session before that was with you on Saturday.
Oh my god.
I said to Millie, I was
It
like,
sounds too similar to
like
him, to be
at the
honest.
back end of last year, you're lucky if I got to gym once, twice a week. And that was just from burnout as well.
Yeah, your burnout was so bad.
It was so bad, horrific.
Really bad.
but like,
I'll always be a coach first, athlete.
yeah, no,
second.
same. And like the thought of Andy getting on stage tomorrow and doing what he's going to do, like I get so much like excitement about that. I'm like fucking buzzing for it, and I love that day and like the result. Everything's wicked. But when I was prepping, I actually couldn't care less about getting on stage. There was no part of me that was excited about me getting on stage. I was excited about the prepping, it getting really hard and seeing how far I could push myself and what I look like by the end of it. But if it was like, if I'd come dead ass last and they were like, your condition couldn't have been any better, I would have been happy, I would have taken that. If I won the show, fucking yeah, buzzing. Obviously I'm going to feel buzzing about that. But now I'm like when, I had like Jen and Drew on and a couple of the other boys last year that won the show, I was like fucking cloud nine for like a week about it.
What you said about that competitive nature within your prep, because I'm so competitive with everything I do, and from a bodybuilding perspective, I'm shit.
Yeah.
Like that kills it for me. So I've now actually shaped my mindset to be, I just will be the best I can be.
That's what I'm like.
But the burnout with shows and why I put so much pressure is because I'm so competitive that it means so much how they do on stage.
Yeah.
It's not just rock them.
Well, like I'm like in a weird way competitive with other coaches at
That's
shows.
what I mean.
Because I'll look at the lads and I'll know. It's
You're like,
even
I
if it's
wanna
mates.
Yeah.
Even if like you had a lad in medicine
Yeah.
tomorrow, I'd be sat there like while they're on stage, I fucking hate you. I'm like,
Don't talk to me.
I'm like in my head, I'm
No,
like,
it's true,
in my
yeah,
head, I'm
you do.
like, can't wait to dog Tim's client in the show,
Yeah.
and I'm almost like living vicariously through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean
It is,
about
it's
it?
that
And
competitive
then after it, I'm like,
nature
yes, bro, how you
Hill
doing?
even-
I
Yeah,
love
it
it.
is.
Hill, what was it last year? You were like, who's
Don't
doing
fucking talk
what?
to me.
No. It was like what? Who was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was. I'll say it anyway. I think it was Michael Fox. Mike
Oh,
Fox.
yeah.
Oh, he
and you were like,
appeared in the last one, didn't he, Foxy?
he was
Fox-
coming up. He was like, I'm
Foxy.
putting Drew in just to dog him.
Yeah, but he said to me, he's like, please don't bring Drew to this show, and I was like, I'm doing it.
Drew's getting brought in.
I was like, I'm
Drew's
drafting-
deployed.
Drew for this show then. Like, I love it though, because in my head I'm like, I just want to have like,
I think like I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when coaches are jealous and salty, because like your result doesn't affect my business or what I
No.
do. That's great, and I want you to do the absolute best. But there's also still the competitive nature of
Yeah.
like, I want to be
Yeah.
in 10 years' time. I want the most pro cards out of everyone. Between Cal and all them, there's a competitive nature
Yeah.
despite them being best pals still.
Yeah.
You still want to win everything.
'cause that's
but
like
I'm
if you-
buzzing then if you win.
yeah, if you and I had clients on stage tomorrow, like, I'd want to beat you.
Yeah.
But if you beat me, I'd be buzzing for you
Yeah,
still.
of
And,
course.
like, after it was
It's
still,
that.
still
It's
best
that,
mates.
afterwards.
It's not then toxic and fucking
Yeah.
jealous about it.
Which when
afterwards,
people are like
also.
that, it is fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's like when you see it, like, I've got my lad, he's gonna fucking do your. Like, shut up. Just don't
It's
say it.
embarrassing.
Think it in your head. And because when I'm stood down, like, I want my clients to beat.
It's nice when you start
think
seeing it
it's-
on like your story though, and you start seeing a story of
Yeah.
you. Or they start seeing a story of you from another coach. It's like someone's worried.
Someone's sending me
He's
round.
scared. He's scared. I think it's that friendliness though as well. Like, when you were saying about being competitive, even if we, say for instance, we were on stage and we were competing against each other, yeah, you have that mindset of, I want to do well, I want to place and whatever, but I would just be just as happy if you were to place and I wasn't.
Yeah, Josh and I said that last year.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like on stage, like
If you're not going to win, you'd rather that. You're the person I'd want to win.
Oh, you know what? I'd be so just as enthusiastic and be like, my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's when people are like dicks about it, though. I just think
I'm gonna slam him.
Yeah, just
All right, mate.
chill out.
What about you then, Millie? Where do you want to take it? Bodybuilding, coaching?
In terms of bodybuilding, I feel like I've only just scratched the surface. So I'd love to go.
How old are you again?
23.
23.
So I'd love to go as far as I can.
So you're just out of a junior?
Yeah, literally.
Wait, isn't junior till
24? Till 24.
Till 24, yeah. But
Yeah.
next time you compete, you're just out of a
Next
junior.
time out of a junior. So I'd love to go as, like, I always feel a bit, like, nervous saying that I'd love to go pro. Because I would. I'd absolutely love it. And I know it would take time. Genetically, not gifted. Not gifted in that
No,
sense.
I wouldn't say
think
you're not gifted. I don't think you've been given a chance to show what you can do.
I
Because
feel, yeah.
your training has been
subpar.
very interesting for a long time until recently.
Yeah, until, like, Ryan's sort of taken over. It's been, like, I've never enjoyed training so much.
But I don't think you've ever grown so much.
No, that as well.
Some of the shots you're pulling now, like Ryan and I were both sat there like, where the fuck has that come from?
Yeah,
Like
so,
that
like,
level of
my
muscles
lats,
never.
like,
Yeah, your
Ryan
lats and your
keeps
delts have
saying-
just gone bang.
Yeah.
And even like your glutes and your hamstrings have come on massively. But
I clocked your lats last week. Your lats are really good.
But it's like for your whole prior off season before your prep, it was you were focusing on accuracy more than like intensity.
I was going to say,
you'd be doing like 37 reps with a bar and you
Yeah,
put it down because
literally.
you're out of breath. Unless it's not fatigued.
No. Whereas now I'm like,
But your feedback would be like, oh, pull the weight down, it's not accurate.
yeah, add a band.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it's like
Yeah, whereas now it's like
a band with
pick
a
up
hip.
weight,
Was it a band
put
with a
that
hip?
weight.
Yeah,
That's
don't
fine.
overthink
No,
it.
Don't
yeah,
overthink it,
moment,
just have
took
fun.
it.
took it down from
I'm
like
like,
120 to 60.
I'm
put a
enjoying.
band on
The
it.
thing is, a lot more now. Like I'm enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying it. It's not like I have to do this. I have to be on it. I have to be blah blah blah. Like with Ryan, it's like enjoy it. But yeah, with the bodybuilding, I'd love to take it as far as I can go.
It's like
I'd
you'll
love to
send
do
a set
international.
to Ryan and you'll be
Yeah.
like, this is so shit.
Yeah.
And he's watching it go, sick that up the weight.
Yeah.
And you're almost like, oh fuck, wicked.
Yeah.
You're buzzing with it.
Yeah,
Because you're so used to being like,
Yeah.
this is not absolutely 100,000%.
Yeah, whereas
perfect.
now I can do
Critiqued,
it.
yeah,
absolutely.
The self-doubt creeps in with every set and you overthink it.
Yeah.
And then you just like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And don't want to do it anymore.
I
But
just-
it should be fun. Like,
is fun,
going to the
yeah.
gym and training should be fun. It shouldn't be like anxiety-inducing that
Yeah. Like,
you're not
this
going to
isn't
match
accurate.
last week's.
I don't think
This
you're
isn't
ever going to get anywhere.
optimal. Yeah.
You're never going to get anywhere if you don't
No,
enjoy
you
it.
just bog yourself down.
Yeah.
You're so
To a
stressed
limit,
out.
to an
You
extent.
Literally.
just got to
But
do what you enjoy. But and also, I don't think there's anything wrong with you saying that you eventually would like to turn pro. Like
No,
that is
there's
your
nothing wrong, but
personal
it's that-
goal. You shouldn't be.
it's that.
There's so much judgment though. And
Yeah, when people-
Because like, you know when you get an inquiry of
it's-
someone and they go, I want to be a pro, and you look at them and you're like,
I normally know they're going to leave after a month.
yeah.
But it's again, I even say this to you. It's just person dependent. And
So many
mindset-
people say that.
mindset dependent.
Yeah.
You saying you want to be a pro. Okay, you've not won a show or done super well, but for years you actually have endured more than anyone in preps. Never given up. You have the minerals to be a pro.
Yeah.
You just got to grow some muscle and do it now.
Just do it.
So it's not like you're just saying it as an airhead and,
Yeah.
and they've never competed or they've binged on the diet all prep. You've literally endured brutal preps.
Yeah.
And never given up despite not wanting to step on stage. You still wanted to do it.
yeah, you've got the
So
mindset.
you have the mindset and you can say you want to be a pro. Me saying I want to be a pro is probably
Yeah.
absolutely pathetic.
So
and I'll
it's-
never say it.
Don't knock yourself.
No,
say
no,
that.
no, I'm
No,
not saying
like,
that as a
if you look
thing.
at
It's
like,
true.
yeah, like how many times do you train this week?
Exactly. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. One.
Yeah.
One in a pump session for
No,
content.
literally yesterday. First
Yeah,
one
no,
this-
mine was yesterday.
Yeah,
well,
well,
today
I think,
twice.
like,
Yeah.
it's that standard as well. Like I'm not delusional where I'm like the standards. Like and when I went up on stage even last year, like the natural standards, I was like, I'm happy to lose to these girls because they look absolutely outrageous and they look insane. And so I also saw that as like, right, that's what I need to work towards. And it's that I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think of, but like when it's you're not doubting yourself, but it's that
Realism.
yeah realism, but also when you're doing something you're like. Oh, you said it on your story the other day. Is this really going to wind me up?
Self-belief?
No.
Self-confidence.
No, it's gone.
Whatever.
It's gone.
Next
It'll come
question.
back in like
It'll
10
come back
minutes.
and I'll
Just blur it.
shout it.
Just blur it. Whenever it comes back.
When it comes
Okay.
back, I'm just gonna. I'll just say it. But yeah, and then in terms of coaching, it's just only relatively picked up. Like I did it a bit in uni, and it was just kind of helping friends and just kind of building that experience. I didn't want to go into it without the qualifications personally, so got the degree, got PC qualifications, educated myself so that, imposter syndrome. That's
Imposter
it.
syndrome.
There we go.
Got it.
For both of it.
That was less than 10 minutes. That was
yeah,
short.
it came back because I was thinking about it as a
Some
coach.
carbs in there.
Yeah. I was thinking, only took a couple minutes this time. Not a week.
Used to about 20 minutes on that.
Yeah.
What are you doing today?
God.
Silence for an hour.
God,
She's
yeah.
there like
Yeah.
thinking.
I think.
I'd have to like get really phonic with it. Be like, what?
What are you doing?
He'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the keys.
No,
No. We don't talk about
that was
the
bad
keys.
from you.
Oh, the keys.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, we know that story.
When you was on about your stories, I didn't say, the keys.
Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, I
You lost your
lost
keys in
my
your own
car
house.
keys in my own house. Could not find them anywhere. And when I say to you I could not find them anywhere, I swear I checked everywhere.
They were on your stairs.
Called.
Sounds like Tim.
The
I've looked
phone-
everywhere, Megan.
The
Can't
phone
see him
in the washing
anywhere.
up bowl though was good.
Yeah.
Losing your phone
I
in the
lost.
washing up bowl.
We haven't even
Brilliant.
finished the AA one. Called out the AA, paid to get my key cut, found the keys on the stairs, cried. And it was on the way to Black Ice that day. That was great. And then another time I dropped my phone in the washer, in the dishwasher. Dishwasher?
Washing up bowl.
Washing up bowl. And I couldn't find it for like a good 10 minutes, but I didn't realise it was lost because I had, really got into my egg whites. And then I was like, where's my phone? So I find my iPhone on my watch, and so it was dinging, and I was like, sounds like it's underwater. And I was like, oh, it's in the bowl. It was in the bowl.
Was it fucked?
No,
They're waterproof now, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was
of
all, I
course.
was like, oh, and I messaged you, just like, found my phone in the bowl.
Guess what I've just done? And I sat there and rolled
I was
my
like,
eyes.
when it said it couldn't get any worse,
Shut up.
you always say, when I think it couldn't get worse, it just
Yeah,
does.
you did surpass expectations every time.
Yeah.
Impressive.
I can't
It
even
was.
remember
It was
what
impressively bad.
It was.
Pardon?
Yeah. Oh,
Coaching.
Yeah. So, just relatively dipped a lot. Didn't prioritise that in prep at all.
Yeah.
I don't think I handled that very well. And I didn't really focus on it that and socials. That kind of just went like whoop. And then picked up from January, kind of like relaunched, took it a lot more seriously. Like, I love it. I'd love to do, again, it's that whole imposter syndrome where it's like, oh, could I be able to do that? I'd love to be able to girls.
So you'd want to be a prep coach at the
Yeah,
end?
yeah, like not even just solely prep. Like I do
Yeah.
lifestyle and prep, but I'd love to prep a few girls because I think, I don't know, I just love to do it. And
It is
really,
fun.
I'd really enjoy it. I just, we'll see. I think it'll take a few years. Obviously, build up with lifestyle first. I feel like you've got to earn your right to
And
do
your
it.
stripes, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got
Yeah, no
time.
one jumps in just as a prep coach.
No, so. What was that little? You were like, ha, I did.
First client, prep coach.
Was it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Who?
A lad called Ollie. Literally just like a mate from the gym. I was like...
Was he
what?
mates with Ali?
No.
You didn't go
I
for
just
that?
knew from like where I used to work years ago.
Just different, how you
Do
wrote.
you know what I mean?
It's just built different.
UK,
Built
UK
different.
DPA top 3.
Was it?
Chat with me.
Didn't win though. Right, next one.
My man!
That competitiveness just coming out,
Yeah.
oozing out of you
Didn't
now.
know.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
It's 14 Wabber cards.
14 Wabber cards later. Tim Wabber Stewart. It's the Wabber
Not
coach.
the Wabber.
The Wabber coach is here. No!
I've got to get myself one of those.
Well,
Yeah.
Wabber,
You're
yeah.
a client of his, you get one
Sign me up.
automatically.
I know,
Yeah.
just for being here.
PMBA.
Yeah, that's the one I'm
Well,
aiming
that's
for.
four of them.
That's my personal aspiration. PMBA.
It's better than fucking having 10 British titles in your fucking bio. People celebrate British title and it's like the first place. Mental.
Do you know what really annoys me about bios? When people just put like IFBB, but they're like a competitor.
Oh my god, IFBB competitor.
I love how we've.
I know.
Yeah, we could all think
Well,
of
like
what
their name
someone-
is like whatever the name underscore like IFBB.
IFBB competitor or
And you think,
IFBB,
oh,
yeah.
IFBB Pro, and then you go, no.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh, they came third at PCA.
I don't
Haven't even
get
done a
like,
show yet.
British invite though. Come on.
Right, you're an IFBB competitor.
Yeah.
put it in your bio.
Change your
I
name.
know. I need to. My
Change your
Instagram,
app.
Millie
Yeah, that is
IFBB.
mental.
I'll just register for a two-bro show and I'll put it in there.
Literally.
Yeah.
Won't even turn up.
Competitor.
By the end of the year, you're an IFBB competitor as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Technically.
We all are.
We all. I could sign up for a show today and just put it in my bio and be like, yeah.
Yeah, that is mental. I didn't think I see it, but I never thought anyone else clocked that.
I've just never understood it because I'm like, what?
Every time it gets me though.
Yeah.
Just riled
No,
up.
they're a pro. No,
No, that's what I do. I'm like, wow. Oh.
Before I'd be like, oh shit, he's won his pro card, and then I go on his pro, I'm like, oh, it's just his name.
Just a reach.
It's not even on prep.
It's fucking mental.
I've
People
never-
are crazy, aren't they? They have no shame.
The only
When
other
you talk about imposter syndrome, like then you have individuals that have none.
yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Literally just
The
like.
confidence of it, and you're just like,
Like they'll call their
Yeah.
YouTube type series or anything like
Road to pro.
oh yeah, or they can't lose. They set themselves up to just
Can't miss.
fail.
Yeah.
And like no one would have an issue if you just didn't put all that shit and you went. Everyone would be like, "Yeah, you did well, good, look mint." But when you've called yourself like
If you're
the best,
if
and
you're
all
going to
this,
go
and
on
it's
your story or your Instagram and like boast before you've even turned up or done anything, just expect it to fall in your face and it don't happen. Like if you pull it off, wicked, like fair full.
yeah, so you've got to have someone
But,
backing you. if
Like
you're gonna act like
that happens maybe once out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Someone actually does it. Whereas like more often you go, oh, do you remember when he said that at the start of the season?
Normally, it's the one that no one even knows about that just comes up and wins
Yeah.
and hasn't said it. Just
Trained at a
humble
leisure
as
centre.
fuck, just train hard. Yeah,
Train out of leisure centre, natty.
Yeah.
Just wins the supers.
It's all right. I
Has to
tell you,
be,
it's always
basically.
yeah. It has to. No, but it's always like you know you're in trouble if you natty shows and there's like a private account, 200 followers,
That's
no
registered.
profile picture,
That's
that's
registered.
registered. You're like, fuck. He's coming out of the shadows. He's been training with Dorian. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Oh, the UK bit, I should have Drew. I just saw that now. I was like, who the fuck? I was like, we lost this anyway, bro. Do what you want. Just don't know who he is. Don't know who he is, but
Oh, that's
don't even have a coach.
yeah, his dad coached him.
Yeah. It's mental.
It's just not a good look, I don't think, when people are just so arrogant about it. Because there's a difference between being confident in yourself and believing in
Yeah.
yourself.
I think
It's more arrogant.
I think the worst thing in the
literally.
world is when people throw a strop on stage.
And like
Start
and
shouting.
awards haven't even been
Yeah.
given yet,
They're
and they're on the
They-
side of this.
yeah.
I
They get
like
their-
I say,
They're kicking off on stage, and it's
They
They
like
get their
everyone-
participation medal. Just bad enough.
everyone that I
Robbed.
have that I prep, I'm like, listen, if it doesn't go the way we want it to go on stage,
you can smile.
smile.
Yeah.
When you're backstage, yeah, lose your head, say what you want about it, but don't embarrass yourself or me up there doing that because it's not fucking on.
Me.
Yeah, well, especially if
my
the
name.
awards haven't been given. You are, even though second call out's out and you're maybe just outside the centre and you thought you were going to win, you're still being judged to the side.
Yeah.
They're not going to award you first place. What are you doing?
What?
Me?
No. They were saying you'd be in the crowd. Fucking shut up.
Oh,
like,
to you?
No, if someone was like kicking off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd-
get the fuck
yeah.
off the stage.
Me.
No, 'cause that's-
My name.
You're literally like.
I think that was for you.
You get about that, you've not just let yourself down, you've let me down.
Well, that's the
you've
thing
let
is-
your family down.
Yeah,
They're
no,
representing you
Everyone
on
does.
stage though, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, I'd be there going, oh, no, just see what Tim's client did on stage. Because I don't know who the client is, but I know you.
You ever even
Do you know
if
what I
it
mean?
kick off on social media or if there's beef or if shit goes on, it's like, yeah, I don't really care, but you're fucking representing me at the end of the day as well. Whiny necking.
Dropped
Get
the
off.
next day.
Yeah.
Blocked.
Not my
Good luck
client.
at post show,
First
mate.
show photo, like,
Have whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
give them crippling edema.
Just leave that tea free, mate. Don't ever take it out.
Pull everything but teeth.
Pull everything but tea free, bro. Oh yeah, 5,000 calories tomorrow.
Oh, I don't feel well.
5k cows, T3, DMP.
0 steps.
I've dropped you.
Good luck.
Please.
Just follow that PCT plan.
All the best.
Here's your PCT plan, just thyroid and TP.
You've never done that though. You've
No,
never
no,
done
yeah,
that.
no,
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 just
no.
just disclaimer, they've never done that.
I
They
just
wouldn't
see
do
it.
that.
I just see it happening.
Yeah.
And you even see it at big shows, and it's like you're just letting yourself down and letting everyone else down.
You've got to have a level of like,
It's just disappointing.
disappointing.
It's just.
Well, no, you've got to have a level of professionalism, and like people say everywhere, you know, you've got to act like a pro before you are a pro. It's the only sport where, as an amateur, you have to be like a pro.
Yeah.
If you want
You
to
have
do
to
it.
act like a
You
pro
can't
to
just
be a
take
pro.
days off and you prep and not train.
No.
Like the pro, do you know what I mean? Whereas every other like professional football to amateur football is very, very different.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
bodybuilding is the only sport where you have to literally live and breathe it like a pro
From the start,
at an
yeah.
amateur level.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
think-
true.
And the difference is
Yeah.
more or less just development of the pros.
It's just
to
the
amateurs.
duration almost.
Yeah,
see
it's
the
like how's the
pros.
maturity of that athlete, how is the posing, typically
Yeah.
with coaching as well, like it's a little bit more technical with the pro
Yeah,
level
yeah.
because the 1% is a far more, it's a 10% margin in the amateurs,
Yeah,
but it's a
yeah.
1% or even
Yeah.
less than that at the pro level.
Yeah, because when you're at pro level, they've all
You
got
just
the best
refine
genetics,
it.
And it's just
they all work super.
It's just the
fucking hard.
development of the athlete as well.
Yeah.
Like that, he's just been doing it longer than you.
Yeah, so
Like,
it's the duration of time. you
we've
can
both got
get.
clients that have got the potential to go pro, but it's going to take them 4 years.
Yeah.
And as well, it's like people go into the sport and they're like, oh, this pro's doing this, I'm going to do this, and why am I not doing that? And it's like they're at that ridiculous level, they can afford to
Like some
do
people
that
as
amount
well,
of
like the
training or do
genetic
less
freaks.
this or
Yeah.
Like Jack
refine,
Eagles that
it's
walked
like-
it, like really good for his age. So many people are like, well, I'll be like Jack Eagles.
Yeah.
Get on your knees and pray, mate. It's not
Yeah,
going to
you
happen.
aren't.
You're not him, so you've got to work at your capacity.
Yeah.
You'll get there when you get there.
It's the only sport as well that not only if you act like a pro, but it's the only sport where you don't win. That's out of your control.
Yeah.
If you're the fastest, you win 100 metres. Just because you're actually
an
the best
opinion.
version of you on the day, it's an opinion. The only thing
You can do as many
control
things
is
as
the
you want to
result.
do to bias that opinion to go towards you, but if it don't go, it don't go. And like the criteria within the class as well changes all the time. Like what they were looking for men's physique is very different than now.
Yeah.
men's physique and bikini are the most where it's
They
like,
just
what,
switch,
what,
just
every
constantly.
year it's like, what are we doing?
I know.
What are we having this year?
It's like people that were really good are now outgrowing that class and having to
Yeah.
go to other classes. People that weren't winning are now winning.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many years did it take
Yeah.
Brian to win the Olympia?
Hey.
Do you know what I mean? And
He's
been
in every place,
He's been
but-
nails every year.
Yeah.
And he's finally they've brought it back and rewarded that look.
So I find as well,
Like just because you do well in
I
2020
find-
doesn't mean you're doing well in 2024, mate.
I find.
I find.
I think when I said I find, I was like, I think everyone does, especially in like the UK.
Personally.
Personally, just throwing my opinion.
Just my little opinion.
Yeah.
My little 2 cents.
Yeah. Coach Millie coming in. The start of the year, like the season, the standard, like, it's decent. But like
If
you get
Andy
to the
wins
end
tomorrow,
of
I'm
the
saying
year,
it's incredible.
yeah, the standard's just
Standard
mad.
was incredible.
Just
Line
one-
up.
just
If he
one of
wins
the
or
class.
loses, it was stacked and the standard was the best we've ever
Mental.
seen on our
Just
match
cut out the
stage.
stage and just zoom in on it.
Even if he's the only one, he's 15 deep. I love that. You know, when you go on Instagram and it's like, deep class today.
To a 12-man lineup at 12 deep.
You've been at the show and there's one guy on that lineup. You're like, what are you on?
One's class, one's the overalls.
One is class.
Or it's when it's like one is class, but
The
I've just
junior
missed out on the
chap.
overalls.
He's the only
It's
junior.
like the only fucking one.
I put it in whenever I like. We had Drew won a few classes
I was
last year
gonna
where he's
say,
the
yeah.
only one, and I've gone like class win brackets. The only
I've
one.
always
By
put the
default.
only person.
Because I'm like, you just look like people that know.
Unless I've done 2 classes on the day, then I'm not going to specify which
Yeah.
one. But if they've literally just gone up and they're the only one, I've just put like, unfortunately, he's the only one on stage.
But still,
What's the
Everyone's
stack-
fucking
what's the stack
seen
lineup
it.
though?
Yeah, he'd have won no matter how many was up there, but he was the only one.
Yeah.
yeah.
What were you saying about the standard of competitors throughout the year?
Like the earlier shows, and then obviously you get into the like it's not easier, but the standard's not as high, and then you have that July sort of kind of
Yeah.
break, and
Yeah,
then
it's
you get
crazy
into the
at the end.
second season, like the second half of the season. Towards the end, just mental. Like
Yeah.
you look at the standards. I remember even at my show or I saw a couple shows in the August, and I was looking at that and I was thinking, I've been to the earlier shows in the year, and I was like, they look, they're not even placing, but the people that were coming first in the start of the year.
I don't know why
Like,
anyone's
it was like they
surprised
would've
by that.
been
Like,
dogs.
when are the
Yeah,
finals?
you know.
It's all
I feel like
Do you,
more
want, do you want to
people
hold that
prep.
shape for 6 months?
Like
Later
start
in
prep
the-
later.
They start in the year,
Because,
because
like,
no one wants to prep in like
Over Christmas. I've
and-
heard that.
I think the only caveat is them earlier ones is potential to get a pro card,
yeah.
like your pro qualifiers, and then if not, then it's the
Yeah.
back end of the year.
But
That's
then you-
fucking dangerous.
But you-
and like
Yeah.
this year, MP,
At the NPC
so many
level,
people have started like,
Yeah.
tried to get the early shows, and the standard's really good.
I think with the NPC, so many people go abroad anyway for those pro,
Yeah. I was
gonna say,
pro shows.
It's easier.
So like it doesn't really matter when you prep,
No.
but when you're looking at like more in the amateur, like the PCA shows and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Well, the finals are at the back end of the year. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to the first time was at the back end of the year. I've got more time to grow.
Yeah.
And then if I do make finals, it's like another 4 weeks.
Mm.
I don't want to win a show that the standard's not very good at the start of the year, and then what the fuck do I do for
Yeah.
the best part of 4 months
Yeah, literally.
before the end?
The last
I think
qualifiers,
it's
the last
natural.
regionals are always
Yeah.
just natural and amateur. They're just
Yeah.
always so much harder.
But it's just normal, and like everyone's like so surprised that the standard's not as good at the start of the year than it is the end. But it's like,
I'd rather get dogged in a good lineup and a good standard than be
yeah,
like
It depends,
losing
though,
that.
'cause, like, some
not
people-
elite in like
Best
a thingy, but like even
You want to know where you stand.
yeah.
You go up against the best, don't you?
Good
At the end of
lineup.
the day. Because holding the first place against...
Give me an
Fuck
easy
that.
win.
I want
to be on my own,
Easy
take
win.
up that
And then-
stage.
Easiest way possible,
Then I
please.
can retire and I've got a sword behind me when I do check-ins. I'll take that.
Every
Never
day.
compete again.
Never
Work
compete.
harder.
Retired, one show done. Bash.
One show, one person, one win.
Easy.
Bash.
Bash.
Oh my god, love this.
Might go tomorrow. What's the quietest class? There's no one in MP
Get a straight
short.
tan.
I'll get in there. Put me in there.
Athletic figure's got no one in. Give me the bikini.
Draft me a coach.
Miss Pete Royle.
Tim, peek me real quick. Tim, we got 12 hours to peek me.
Throw the Pete Max at him. Just
Pete Matt Super Droll.
Kitchen sink, mate. Yeah. Fuck the kitchen sink. The showroom, lad. Have it.
We are going to wrap up this episode and split this into two because we are aware it's gone over an hour. So if you want to continue listening on to me, Millie, Pete and Megan, then catch us in the next episode. As always, like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you in the next one.